Mr. Tall, Dark, and Handsome. He loves live music and cheeky beers on a patio. And he gets to tolerate paint stains on all of our dish towels. My lovely boyfriend, Josh. So, how are you doing today?
Good. It was a long work day.
Long work week for you.
Long work week. Definitely. It's been busy since Bonnaroo.
Which leads me into the perfect first question, which is, what are you painting today?
I am painting the fountain that is in Sintaru, which is the inside of Bonnaroo. And there's like a art installation fountain that people can get in and cool off, and it's always like a unique, vibrant, trippy painting over it.
Do they change it every year?
I don't know about every year, but it's been a couple things since I started going.
Which was?
2019.
2019, that's right. What was your inspiration for choosing that?
Well, with Bonnaroo being canceled and everything, just been really in the Bonna blues.
Oh my god, I love that. Did you come up with that, or was that Reddit?
I don't know, I just came up with it.
Right now?
But I might have read it somewhere. I don't know.
I love that. I don't love that because it's obviously got canceled, but I like the play on words.
And I've just been listening to all the podcasts, and I've been on Reddit a bunch, and I figured why not paint a little bit of Bonnaroo, because we couldn't go. And then my charity will also be Bonnaroo themed, so it seemed very fitting.
Amazing. Should we tell the story of our journey on Bonnaroo for Bonnaroo?
What parts of it?
I thought it would be fun to maybe only say the good parts, because there's so much sad stuff online, and obviously we were very sad. I don't think I took it very well. For those of you that don't know, they had one day of Bonnaroo, so we were there. We're from Colorado, so we got all the way to Tennessee, which is not an easy, quick thing to do. And then they canceled it Friday, before Slightly Stupid, which I've been trying to see forever. I feel like I literally just said we shouldn't be negative, and I was just negative the whole time. But so let's talk about this year in only positive aspects.
Okay. Where do we begin then?
I feel like let's start with planning for it.
Planning for it? Well, that was months of planning that went into this.
And we did group camping for the first time.
We did do group camping. So our normals group was 8 of us last year. It's always been getting bigger, which is always fun.
Which is huge, yeah.
But this year we decided to do group camping so we could guarantee we could all come in at different times and camp together. But that requires a lot more planning. So we ended up getting 18 of us together. Again, awesome.
Amazing. We had some people come in from, we had
LA,
Berlin,
Austin, Chicago.
Obviously Colorado.
Indiana, you're right. Hank's dad.
Shout out,
Hank's dad. But yeah, we had, our group keeps growing since the first year that we went together. And we got to meet 4 or 5 new people that first year, and this year we were camping with some of them again, and they were bringing in new friends from Chicago. And I got to bring, I guess also he's just coming, but Michael, which was my college roommate, and he's from Chicago, so I don't get to see him very often. So that was all exciting, and we were all super stoked. As VP was saying, the lineup was sick.
The lineup was crazy. I don't know what part of the internet my 12 subscribers are on, but if you haven't seen the Bonnaroo lineup, like, look at it. It's really good.
Well, this would have been my 4th year, and it's definitely the most music I was ever gonna see.
Yeah.
A lot of times we just hang out at camp.
Like, we were gonna go in at like 3
games.
p.m., which is pretty abnormal for us. Usually we go in at like 6.
Yeah, well, maybe a little earlier than that, but it wasn't
was
really,
stacked.
and it was like there was no skips, which
What do you mean no skips?
are like no breaks. There was never a time
Oh, yeah.
where you
Like,
could
you
be
were
like,
running to the next spot every day, yeah.
It was gonna be awesome, and there was such a good variety there.
Such a good variety. It is like, when I got back after it had been canceled, somebody asked, like, you went all the way to Tennessee, like, why would you do that? I was like, no, please just look at the lineup. Like, I promise you could at least, the person I was talking to was in his late 30s. I was like, you can find at least 5 people that you would really want to go see. And like, there was people that were teenagers there. Like, they just did a really, really good job. I think Live Nation just has big pull, probably.
Definitely helps, and yeah, I mean, everyone from Insane Clown Posse to Olivia Rodriguez. Pretty nuts.
Which Henry, which is episode 9, went to Insane Clown Posse, and I'm kind of sad because they were on Thursday. I'm kind of sad we didn't go. I don't know who was during them, but
Dum Dalla.
that makes sense.
Dum Dalla.
So anyway, we get there.
We get there.
We set up, we have so much space. We're kind of at like the edge of camp, which at first we were like, dang, this is kind of just as far as GA. Like, we were walking, it's close to the entrance, but like to get into Outeroo, which is like, they have structures out in the camping like section, they still play music all night. And we were like, dang, it's kind of far. It's kind of far from like the yoga in the mornings and stuff like that. But it was close to the entrance, which was huge. And we realized pretty quickly, because we were at the edge, like, we had, I don't know how to describe this. Like, our porta potties only attracted 180 degrees worth of people instead of 360 degrees worth of people. Is that a good way to describe it?
Yeah, we were right next to the porta potties.
We could like change and like have our stuff out, and like, it wasn't that big of a deal.
We were right next to the edge of camping.
Yeah.
So there was plenty of other bathrooms that people were going to, which was super nice until they stopped cleaning them because of the rain. And then they started overflowing pretty quickly.
Only positive, only positive.
Oh, sure. I mean, it's still pretty funny, so.
It was funny. But we got a huge Thursday in, and the biggest Thursday they've had.
Yeah, definitely the biggest Thursday they've ever had.
I'm kind of sad we missed Luke Combs.
I mean, not my cup of tea.
But
Dum Dalla was pretty sick.
Who was?
Dum Dalla.
Yeah, he was pretty sick. We saw, what did we go in for? Was it Marcus King? No, it was Will Dorado.
No, we went in for Kitchen Dwellers.
Oh.
And that was at like 3 p.m. on a Thursday. And then we saw a little bit of Tenzo and JoJo.
Oh yeah, wait, and I've been huge fans of them forever. I followed them since before they were booking anything.
Shout out Tenzo and JoJo.
Shout out Tenzo and JoJo. We saw you guys at Meow Wolf as well. You guys are crush it. I love them.
And it was in the brand new stage.
Yeah, which I've heard really negative things about.
Yeah, I haven't heard the best things about it either. But
we weren't there we only saw Tenzo and JoJo, and then we headed out to see Will Dorado. And then we saw Marcus King, and Marcus King destroyed. I've been listening to Marcus King all week.
I kept saying that he was going to be good.
No, I know you did. And sometimes you say things and they somehow don't stick in the brain.
It's also not your normal music taste.
Well, you just are so well versed in music that sometimes I have a hard time taking the time for everybody you're excited about. Is that bad?
No, I get excited about a lot of people. But this kind of like reignited my excitement for him.
For new people or for him?
Just for him. I know a couple old songs, and they're great songs. They're certified bangers. But yeah, it was just, he was really good live. He reminded me a lot of Nathaniel Rateliff when we saw him at Bonnaroo. Just like fun, good,
energy.
Old school like dancing. He
played like
energy.
3 new songs too.
Played 3 new songs. We were sitting next to or standing next to a guy that had been to every single Bonnaroo, and he had like seen his career blow up and said it was one of the best shows he had ever seen, and that was like 16 times of seeing him.
Which is crazy. They were a couple that lived like across from the farm, which, wait, is this kind of a bone to pick? Like, they used to get free tickets and now they get discounted tickets, which I was like, that's kind of BS. And they were so nice. They were like, no, we love it here. And I was like, I'm sorry that my initial reaction was that that's BS, but fuck Live Nation.
Got a lot of beef with Live Nation right now.
Yeah, we don't love Live Nation, but they made the right call.
They definitely did.
And then who did we see after that?
Then we went to Sammy Virgie.
Oh yeah, who crushed it.
Yeah, definitely one of the better house shows I've seen in a minute.
Yes, and we stayed like in our spot that we were at for Sammy Virgie for the whole hour in between sets. And I did not realize how much the crowd had filled in around us. Like, because we just sat there and I was like, I don't want to pee. Like, I'll just do it. Sometimes I do it right when the show starts because then the bathrooms are empty.
That is a strategy, for sure.
It's a strategy, not when it's sold out.
Yeah, Down Dollar was packed. It's probably the most people I've seen at the other stage.
I think it was.
Maybe Pretty Lights, when they did that sunrise set, it was oddly packed.
Yeah, but that was at like 3. Like, this was like the closing set. Like, it was crazy.
Yeah, no, it was pretty nuts. And he threw down too.
He did a really good variety as well.
Yeah, we've talked about this, and I can only listen to so much house music in a row.
Yeah.
And so honestly, by the end, thinking we had another day, I left a little early. You had left a little early.
Well, so I went to the bathroom and I was like, I promise, no matter what, I'll come back.
You came back.
I did come back. I had to go, if anybody's been to Bonnaroo, all the way past, is it this tent or that tent? I think it's that tent. No, this tent. Fuck.
This is the one where we saw Kitchen Dwellers at.
Wait, I is next to which, and that is next to what? It was that tent. Past that tent, and there was still a crowd up to it. Like, it was crazy, and I was like, crap, I promised him I'd come back. And I did it. I made it back, and I literally got there, and I go, I need to go to bed.
Yeah, that's pretty accurate.
It is so accurate, but just in your brain, I was like, okay, sometimes when I'm up too long staring at lights, my contacts get dry.
Sure.
And I was like, I need to, like, we have a whole other day. 3 days. Tomorrow's a big day, which was going to be Friday. Like, I'll just go back. So we go back. Everybody kind of goes to bed early. And we wake up on Friday. And, we had our Wook elephant exchange.
That was great. That was a good idea by you.
So the first year I had gone with Josh. We were also with Haley and Hank. And we did like a secret Santa where we had to thrift each other an outfit. And so this year, because we had like 18 people, I was like, okay, instead of Secret Santa, in case more people join our camp, let's do a like a white elephant exchange, but I'll rename it to Wook Elephant Exchange. And I was like, $20 max. It could cost you $0, just anything in that range, just anything silly and goofy. You can make it, you can buy it, it can be useful, anything that can be used for the rest of the weekend at Bonnaroo. And it was really fun.
It was really fun.
I'm trying to think of like the funny things that we got.
You got a really cool koozie that has like fur and baller.
I got
from
like
Kara.
a fur koozie, yeah, from Kara. And
Matt got an IKEA bucket hat.
an IKEA bucket hat.
It's pretty dope.
I gifted film cameras, like little digital. What are they called?
Film cameras.
No, what are they called? Oh, point and shoots.
Sure.
Disposable cameras. That's what they're called. And then we prepared. So Hank and his dad, Daddy J, went in to the festival, and then they had literally bought Starlink so that they could watch the Pacers game that was on Friday. So they were in the festival, and they were just going for Melt. No, that was Saturday. I don't remember who they were in for, but they
went in.
You might remember.
To see DD, or I forget at this point.
That's okay. And then we were like filling our waters, and I was going to the bathroom, I think, and all of a sudden we're only positive though. Over the system, they said severe weather, like beep, beep, severe weather. So thankfully I ran back, and thankfully I was also in a swimsuit already. We lowered all of our shade tents, and we like prepared for the rain that was supposed to come. And we did it, which was good, to the best of our ability.
We did do it.
And because we were next to like the second half of our camp, which was like another group camping person that was in the same square, they were gone, and their camp was not so lucky.
Yeah, we definitely stayed a lot drier
Than everybody else. Which I consider us vets. I don't know, I mean, you're 4 years. I'm 3 years and 3 years at Forest. I would consider that vets. And we camp a lot in Colorado. So like, we know how to prepare for weather and how important it is for things not to get wet. And we were just in our own little bubble. We were like, so Hank and his dad came back, they set up the game. They were attracting a crowd for people to get like ready for this game. And we were just like waiting to go in. Like we were just ready. We were like, okay, I don't want to like overdo myself waiting. So we're just gonna like hang out and wait it out. Only positive though.
Yep.
Then we got a text message, and the way it was worded made it seem like maybe it was just Friday that was canceled.
It was not.
It was not. So what do you do in that situation?
Chaos.
You scream. No, it was a little, so like I said before, we were at the edge. So we were like, let's just walk around and see what's happening. And we walked around, we were like, oh, like it's flooded. It's flooded. Thankfully, at our edge of camp, like we were at the top of a hill, which I can not reiterate enough. Like I am so thankful we were at the top of that hill, because we were in a minivan and it was a very low riding. And like, if we would have been at the bottom of a hill, it would have just flooded.
It was a stow and go.
Hell yeah, the Stow and Go, Town and Country Stow and Go, bring them back. Please bring them back.
No, that was massive that we didn't have issues at all. I think only like Brock's tent got flooded.
Due to bad shade tents.
Yeah. Poor planning.
Poor planning. We tried to like stuff too many tents under a shade tent, so they were all like kind of popping out.
Yeah, we realized you basically have to have a shade tent per
one
person.
One shade tent per tent. Yeah.
Yeah, it's always a learning experience though.
And you get better at it every year.
Every year you learn something new.
Which is great. Yeah, so then we were like, well, what do you do? Most people that were in control of driving got ready and drove home, and we were like, well, we can't do that. There's a game to watch. And, you know, we might as well spend the rest of the night in Bonnaroo spirits, right? So we went to the RVs. And the RVs are like, I mean, it's a big section of Bonnaroo. And people like, they have electric hookups now, so like people can bring their like DJ boards and stuff. But the thing about that is, you know who loves to DJ really late and take over a DJ set? Dubstep DJs.
Or bass.
Bass heads. Which is okay. I support everybody that loves music, and I support all music genres. However, when it's the only variety is varieties of dubstep, it was just an interesting night. Like there was nowhere to go, so it was always just like we were kind of in a circle, like, let's go see if this was happening. And you would see people running through the campsites like, hey, John Summit is playing. And I'm like, I doubt that. John Summit is in GA right now playing. Like, it would attract too big of a crowd. This is a sold out festival. Like, there's 80,000 people here. That's just dangerous. Like, they're not going to open anything. It got to a point where Bonnaroo texted us saying, hey, Centeroo is open for bathrooms and vendors. And we were walking around and like, it made sense why they canceled it, I guess. Like, the grounds could not have taken 4 days of people. It was bad. So our little group, our car essentially, but we were just like, let's just like walk around the campsites and just see what's going on. So we like went, we got some pizza, hoping that the House of Yes would be open. It was not. And then we like did a loop, and there was like just traffic of people trying to get out. And then we went back to the RVs we were at, still bass music, which I was like, I'm okay with this, but like I was so excited for Slightly Stupid, like I kind of want to just listen to them. So we were like, you know what, let's just go back to the campsite and let's just sit in a circle and let's just like talk and make silly memories and just like stay up until we're tired. And listen to our own music, like on our own speaker. So that's what we did. And it was, we made pit stops along the way, like to anybody that was playing music. And it was fun.
It was fun. We went to a pop-up show at the Debussy.
Debussy, yes. It was crowded.
And Michael ran into someone he knew from kindergarten.
Crazy.
That was nuts.
It's crazy.
And
they were there with how many people? Like 90. It was something.
Like 100.
It was so wild.
Can I get more blue?
Sure. Go for it.
It's not turning out as good as I thought.
No, it's hard. Don't beat yourself up on it. Just trust the process. Mine isn't either. And you can just try something else a little bit and see if it works. And then just roll with it. Yeah, long story short. And then we had to wake up the next day and drive back to Indiana.
In which we started the cloud chat.
Yes. Okay, yes, and I'm painting a cloud from the cloud chat. Okay, yeah, so I'm painting a cloud. We have a cloud chat. We also have a tree chat. Did you like my tree chat photo today?
I don't know if I saw that.
So essentially, Dow threw how many people can be in an Apple group chat, like 36? 36 people in a chat, and said, this is the tree chat. If you see a cool tree, just send a photo. That's what this group chat is for, trees. And on the way back, we were with our two other friends from Chicago, and we were telling them about this chat, and they were like, we want to be in the chat. And we were like, well, there's only 36 people in the chat.
They're on the waiting list now.
They're on the waiting list now, and we were passing like a storm on the way home, and we were like, those are cool clouds, and we were like, let's start a cloud chat. And I will say the cloud chat kind of pops off a little bit more. Like, clouds are really cool.
Clouds are really cool. And so are trees.
So are trees.
But
I wanted to start a dog chat.
clouds just kind of slap sometimes.
Yeah, especially like a good cloud. Like, it makes you, I don't know if you feel this way, but when you see a big, fluffy clouds in the background and you actually pay attention to them, doesn't it kind of feel like a green screen? Do you know what I mean? Like, it almost feels like, whoa, like you realize how small you are maybe? I don't know what the feeling is, but I think clouds are climbing their way to my favorite thing.
You just get those times where it's like golden hour and there's one big fluffy cloud and it like hits off of it just right. And it just kind of looks like heavens are opening up.
I like when they're the big fluffy ones, but there's a lot of contrast within the cloud.
Clouds are cool.
They're so cool.
I don't know much about them and I'd like to keep it that way.
Ooh, I like that.
It's a mystery.
It is mystery. Oh, man, I'm not loving mine either, but it's okay. Trust the process. Okay, so for this episode, I decided to, instead of interviewing Josh because we know each other so well, I was like, I'm just going to reach out to a lot of people for the HFF friend game, which is basically just reaching out to our friends about questions that they want me to ask him. So we're going to do that. We're going to start with that and see where it goes. Okay, HFF questions. Everybody also asked very, very good questions. Like, I was very excited about every single question. So the first one comes from Haley Shoot. What is your life mantra?
I think I have a couple mantras. Okay. I think one is to have fun forever.
Hell yeah.
I think one is to radiate positivity. I mean, basically all of the Bonnaroo code is like my mantra, but I'd say the last one is to treat others the way you want to be treated.
Love.
The golden rule.
The golden rule. Those are all great. I feel like you live by those pretty good.
I hope so.
I think so. Okay, Quinn wants to know your all-time favorite album. We can narrow it down to album you own on the record. That's so hard for you.
That is pretty tough. On the vinyl, maybe Theophilus London's album, Baby.
When you showed me that album, that was like, I love that album.
I mean, it's pretty good and it's very underknown. And like the whole thing is front to back, no skips. And I don't think a lot of people own that vinyl, period. And I like bought it at a point where he like signed it. So
yours is signed?
Yeah.
I didn't even know that.
It's got a little message with it.
Oh wait, I did actually know this. What does the message say?
It says, I think it says Google Leon Ware.
Did you Google him?
Yeah, he's like a artist in some capacity. It's been a while.
You have a couple signed albums, don't you? Is it only Mountjoy and Theophilus? Which is a sick name, by the way.
I think that's the only sign. I might have more, but...
Okay. Pusinelli wants to know what your favorite trait is in others.
My favorite trait in others is...
I feel like I know this answer for you.
I don't know. I think a few things. I don't have like one favorite per se. Like, I like when people are just happy about life and just can enjoy, you know, if something goes wrong, it's not the end of the world and they can just enjoy whatever the journey comes.
Wow. It's like go with the flow energy.
Yeah. And also just when people follow through with stuff.
That's fair. I thought you were going to say like people who value quality time. You love just to hang out.
I do like hanging out.
You do love hanging out.
Being
Just
around people and just making memories. I think one day you'll look back on that and be like, that's essentially wealth when you get older.
Yeah, it's true. That is what life is about, honestly. I forget it sometimes. You're good at it. So Q, incredible question. What aspects of Survivor do you feel most resonate with your day-to-day life? And what are the most impactful lessons you've learned from being a super fan? Isn't this a good question?
That is a good question. In my day-to-day life, I think like being able to be like a chameleon and like change who I am, but like still be myself, but like doing sales and working just with a lot of people, you have to like adjust how you talk to certain people, and your topics of conversation change from person to person. And like I think I'm really good at like figuring out what a person is like and then playing to their interest, whether that's in like my own personal gain or not.
I feel like you're good at making yourself likable.
I guess that's a good way to put it. And then what is the life lesson I've learned from being a super fan?
Being a super fan.
Do whatever it takes to win $1 million.
Damn. That's a good one.
Lie, cheat, and steal.
Okay. I have a question adding on to this. If you were ever to go on Survivor, who would be your family that you would want to be flown out there?
Ooh.
Or anybody? I'm opening up the floor.
I think my mom, and then my sister, and then you.
Really? You always said your sister first.
I know, but I'd be sick for my mom to go out there. I don't know, between those two.
I feel like your mom would make you the most emotional, would give you the most emotional drive, and your sister would give you the most logical drive.
Yeah. I mean, my sister would probably be the best choice on, like, she would start scheming, and she would also just think it was so sick.
Yeah. I feel like in the grand scheme of Survivor, when you've watched for so long, like, you're very good at predicting social situations. Like, I wonder if that does affect your job at all. Probably does.
Probably. Maybe that's where it's, like, knowing you have to change per person that you talk to and treat people in their own way. But I think it's also just, like, listening to people and actually understanding who they are.
Fair enough.
It's taught me that looks aren't everything.
Social gameplay is. You've got the looks, though.
Looks can be deceiving. How about that?
There you go.
I think that's what it's taught me. We should recut.
These next two questions are from me.
Okay.
Since moving in together,
Okay.
what has been a habit that I have that you didn't know prior to living with me that has surprised you the most? Whether it's like something that irritates you, something that's cute, anything.
This is easy.
Okay.
As much as like you're a clean person, you just throw stuff into cabinets like the most unorganized ever, and I was not expecting that.
Well, you know what's funny is mine is the opposite. Like, I was like, why does he care about his clothes being like folded?
Yeah. I'm always like, wait, when did we start using this cabinet?
Well, I just put things where they fit. I learned that from Quinn. The next question is from Schrader. If you had 24 hours to live, money isn't a factor, how would you spend it?
I mean, 24 hours is not that long, so I'd probably just like be around people that I loved.
Oh, this actually makes me think of a question I used to ask in college to people. If you had to choose between knowing the date you die and knowing how you die, what would you choose?
The date.
Really?
So I feel like if I knew how I died, I would just like avoid that.
Yeah, I just
Like-
thought, what if it was a car crash and you're like, well, fuck, I can't go anywhere.
Yeah. But if you know the date, then you can just be like, all right, you have plans in order.
Yeah. Gets you thinking, honestly.
Those-
Okay, Haley, what draws you to the outdoors?
I mean, the fact it's like beautiful and like,
Want to know one of my favorite things about you?
what?
Josh is colorblind. And I love when you see a view and you stop and you say, look how beautiful the view is. And I'm like, I know, I love, like, look at all the wildflowers. And he'll go, I don't see any of them. And I'm like, oh, and you still think it's like that beautiful. Like,
Yeah.
that's so cool. That like the world that you see is different, but like everybody can appreciate a beautiful view. She also wants to know, how does it feel being compared to Jesus?
I don't think I'm compared to him anymore, but it felt great. You kidding?
I feel like this requires story time.
Story time is that I used to have long hair, almost Jesus flow, Jesus level flow. And I mean, a lot of people called me Jesus, but one specific time, VP and I were at church with her grandmother, and there was communion going on, and this little girl walked by and starts pulling on her mom's sleeve and goes, Mom, there's Jesus over there. And granted, I was wearing like a really flowy shirt, so I kind of set her up for it, but I still think this girl probably thinks that she saw Jesus.
Her mom was like, yeah, honey, like looking at the statue.
Yeah, that was pretty funny.
And the little girl was like, no, you're not seeing what I'm seeing.
Yeah, but in college it was pretty fun to be compared to Jesus.
Yeah.
I was Sig Up Jesus for a while. Actually, probably a lot of people still kind of refer to me as that, which is crazy.
It is crazy. Okay, Dow, what's your favorite or funniest moment you've ever had being under an influence?
I mean, it might have been at Bonnaroo this year when I couldn't hold on to anything. I could not. I was sitting in a chair.
Can I tell the story?
Sure.
So he was trying to like text on his phone and he kept dropping his phone. And he was holding, it's a thing at Bonnaroo to carry around bagged wine, and he kept like dropping it. And he was like, okay, no more holding things for me tonight. No more. I can't hold anything. And we were like, okay, that's fine. And so like whatever, we go on our journey, we go around, we get food, everything. And then Pusinelli was like, hey, will you hold my beer real quick while I slapped the bag? And I was holding the bag to, give to him. And literally, Pusinelli hands Josh's beer. Simultaneously, I'm holding the bag of wine over Pusinelli. The second he puts his thumb on that spigot, Josh goes, thump. And it was like 2 seconds. He hadn't even had the beer in his hand for 2 seconds. Pusinelli just takes a couple chugs and goes, 2 seconds! You couldn't hold my beer.
Yeah, I had Butterfingers.
To be fair, you did warn everyone.
I did. I told everyone. Don't trust me.
Just the way Pusinelli said it was just like that anger in your voice where you're like, I can't be mad because I knew this fact. And I thought you could do it for 2 seconds and you couldn't.
Sometimes when you know, you know.
Exactly. You just wanted to help your friend out.
I mean, I tried my best. It was crazy. Like things were just right through my fingers, and I did not know what was going on. And I tried.
Oh, it's so good. These next couple are from Riley. If you were a Major League Baseball player, what would your walk-up song be?
Oh my gosh. One, I don't like baseball, Riley. But thank you for asking. I know what I would do.
What?
The Survivor theme song. Oh, way, oh, way, oh, way, That would be great.
People think it's going to be Loyals by Odessa.
Little did they know, they actually stole that song.
Jeff Probst comes out and starts rubbing your shoulders.
And that would be a dream come true.
That would be a dream come true. Where is Daddy Jeff right now? He's in our room.
He's in the other room.
Yeah. I have to take him out of here because it's starting to get too crowded. And, which I should put him back in here while we record because he deserves to be in here while we record. Okay.
He's our one audience listener.
Whoa, I have 12 subscribers.
In person.
Thank you. No, we've got the encampment down the street. They listen.
They definitely listen.
All right. Those are all the HFF questions. We should either talk about our plans for the weekend or the 4th.
Let's talk about the 4th.
I was saying I was from Michigan because I'm so excited to be on a lake for the 4th.
Although
what?
Although we've always spent the 4th backpacking.
Oh, that's so true.
That's a little bit of a bummer.
Well, my life, I've always spent the 4th on water. That backpacking was the anomaly for a few years, which I love. I love backpacking. The first year we did 4 pass loop. I always call it 4 loops pass. 4 pass loop, and we listened on the 4th of July. We listened to This Land Is Your Land on repeat. I did, at least, to get over those freaking mountains. If you guys don't know what 4 pass loop is, it is a loop. What is it, like 25 miles?
That sounds about right.
You don't have to do that many miles a day. It's like 6 miles a day, 6 or 7 miles a day. But the kicker is there's 4 13ers, so you have to go over the peak of a 13-foot mountain, and which is obviously hard to do when you have everything that you need to survive, like on your back. The packs are heavy. They're 50 to 70 pounds. I don't do well in elevation. And that song got me through the 4th of July. I was like, okay, because you have to do 2 passes in one day because like the valley of the pass isn't low enough to camp. You have to camp below the tree line so you don't get, if a storm comes, you can be protected by trees. You have to be below the tree line. And that day was so rewarding at the end.
Was it?
Yeah, we listened. Quincy had brought pieces of pie. By the 3rd day, they were...
That was dope, you're right.
Smushed. And we were kind of in our own section. Like, we didn't have a designated spot. I was terrified of ticks because there was ticks everywhere. But there was marmots everywhere. And the view on, like, the backside, because we were on the other side of the mountain, like... The sun came over and created like a very sharp shadow over that big red mountain in front of us. And there had been an avalanche there that summer because all the rocks were there. So it was like, this is how my brain works. I was like, I can see all danger. We're not in the woods.
There's a deer that came through.
I don't remember.
I remember because I was peeing.
No, that was last year.
Are you sure about that?
Yeah, because Murphy was there. Murphy's a dog.
There was another deer than at our last spot.
Oh, really?
Yeah.
At 4 Pass?
You're right, because we were out on those rocks.
Yeah, we were out on those rocks.
Last year was the deer. That
Last year
scared
was the
me.
deer, yeah. We did, what was it called last year? Josh found it. Kudos.
I don't know.
Sangre de Cristos?
De Cristo forward pass.
It was like the same thing, just in a different range. And we had a big group this year. How many was it? 6, 7? And we celebrated Keller's birthday, because his birthday's close to the 4th. And Josh, like, went near the river to go to the bathroom, and he was peeing, and, like, I mean, you take it from here.
A deer just ran up on me.
But you didn't know it was a deer.
I didn't. It was just something sprinting through the woods.
Which, when you're in the woods, you assume...
With your pants down.
You assume monster.
Thought I was gonna die with my pants down.
Yeah. And I also want to give credit where credit's due. We were with a dog named Murphy and also Stevie, but Murphy was out and about unleashed. And Murphy started bolting towards this deer, and all of us at once screamed her name, and she stopped in her tracks and looked at us and came back. And I was like, wow. Dogs can hear the tone of your voice, for sure. She was like, I cannot take another step. It was so scary. I was so scared for you. I was like, wow, I wonder how many men have lost their lives.
Could have had a heart attack.
Yeah, you could have. Oh my goodness, I didn't even think about that. We're gonna share the charity. Josh is gonna share his charity he chose, and then we're gonna turn it off, listen to music, and then reveal. What charity did you choose, and why?
I chose the Totem Foundation. I actually don't know a ton about this charity, but a podcast that I listened to...
What's the podcast? Shout it out.
It is the Real Rubus. It's a Bonnaroo podcast. They have been like super involved in the Bonnaroo community as long as I've been there. We actually saw Flip Turn like before they got big at their bus, which was pretty dope.
Is it the Debussy bus?
I don't think so. I think it's different. I think their bus was right next to the Debussy. But they created a foundation for like the next generation of festival goers. And obviously Bonnaroo is like means a lot to me and just like the joy it brings me. And so their whole goal is to make sure that the next generation also gets to share in that experience and that like the culture stays around in a positive way. So they raise money and give out scholarships and mentorships. So they'll pair a new, like a rookie festival goer with a veteran festival goer so that they always have like a buddy around. And then there's scholarships.
Have you ever thought about doing that?
They have like a lot of applications and not at this point in my life. And then they do scholarships to like help underprivileged youths get to festivals. So that is also why I'm doing the Bonnaroo mushroom.
Love. I like that people can feel passionate about something and like find a way to make it a charity so that it can be accessible to others.
I do too.
That's definitely one of the coolest things about starting this is like you hear all these niche, because obviously you hear all of like the big charities, but there's so many niche charities. Like anything that you're passionate about, there's probably a charity that like fits you. And I appreciate that you found one that like fits the whole theme. And to you, it's cool, isn't it?
No, it's a really cool foundation, and I've been like listening to their podcast more and more, and they're just like awesome people.
We should try and find them next year.
Yeah, no, they're like always around and let people go in and sign their bus every year.
Oh, we signed it the first year.
Yep.
Yeah. Swerve. Joshua.
What?
Are you proud of your painting?
Yeah.
Good. What is the charity that proceeds will be donated to?
The Totem Foundation.
The Totem Foundation. Okay, are you ready to show everyone?
Yep.
Ready? Here they are. You heard it from Josh. The Totem Foundation Available on my website, palettetalk.com. Thank you for listening.
Like and subscribe.
Like and subscribe.